So I had a near-death experience when I was 9. So I'll share my own experience with death. I grew up with a lot of death around me. I grew up in the war, so death was always something that very persistent. It's not a surprise like it is here to people. And although it's always tragic, it is something that just sort of like washes over you. So I was on a refugee boat coming to the United States, and we ran out of food and water. And I felt myself very faint and very weak. And at some point I felt myself leaving my body. And I don't even realize that I called it death then, because I just felt myself leaving my body. And I was hovering over myself. At some point I realized I wasn't in my body, and I was hovering over myself. And I didn't have any beliefs, like I think I'd heard about reincarnation because I was raised Buddhist, and I think I heard about heaven because my aunt was a nun. I didn't really have any beliefs in my head even. It was like, oh, this is strange. I'm not in my body right now. And there was a lot of quiet, and there was a lot of stillness. And it felt like it lasted 10 minutes. But the next thing I knew, I woke up, and I had been out for a day and a half. And my parents were like, we thought we lost you. I was in the ship hospital. We had been rescued. All these things had happened when I was out. But I'll always remember that stillness, that kind of hovering, like between worlds almost. It really touched me in a deep way that we are beyond our bodies. I mean, at 9, I learned I was beyond my body, and that I was part of something bigger. And then when I returned to my body, I knew then that I was still part of something bigger, but now I'm in a different state. So that's really affected me all my life, this kind of inner knowing and feeling of who we all are. And there can be a lot of intellectualization about it, but I'll just focus on the feeling. And I think the feeling is that when I was out in that stillness space, there was a lot of peace and there was a lot of love, but it wasn't personal. I didn't think of one person. I just, it was like a flat feeling of everything. And then when I came back, then I was like, my body, my parents, those people, the boat. But in that other space, there was no separateness. There was no mental concepts. So that's my experience.